Real stories,
Real people.
Real Heroes.
the Real Heroes Network.
All right, what's going on, everybody out there? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Real Heroes here on the Real Heroes Network. I'm your host, Jesse, aka Blessy Caban, and I have a very special guest with me here today. If the voice sounds familiar, it is because you are listening to Mr. Aaron Whitaker. Aaron actually was the voice that you would have heard on the Stop, Drop, and Podcast episode, Financial Health is Wealth. So Aaron and I were talking about entrepreneurship, being having financial freedom, financial flexibility. He was talking about some properties that he owns and just kind of how he got into that mindset, some tips and tricks that he used, some valuable resources, and basically laid out an entire blueprint for everyone out there for free on basically how to become a property manager. It still is, I should say, my highest streamed episode. And just based off the strength of that one episode, Aaron got like a book offer for how to flip homes and how to become a property manager. Apart from that, Aaron's a buddy of mine. We worked together, been buddies now for a couple years, and the reason I decided to have him on the podcast and then again here on the Real Heroes is just that his whole just business mindset is he's just such a go-getter. You know what I mean? Like Aaron's one of those people where if you tell me he can't do something, he's gonna go 500 miles an hour to prove you wrong, and he's laughing because he knows that he knows I'm telling the truth. He takes chances, and that's why Aaron is successful as an individual, is because he takes chances. And by taking chances, that's something that we're going to talk about today, where Aaron partially is here because he is starting a business in the midst of a global pandemic. If that doesn't take courage and bravery and business savvy, then I really don't know what does. Don't want to get too ahead of myself because I definitely want to let Aaron say his piece. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Aaron Whitaker. A little round of applause right there. Now, before we go ahead and start the interview, I want to go ahead and play a clip of some time that I had over at Back Alley Axe, which is where Aaron is a owner in. And tell me what you think. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in front of Back Alley Axe, where Aaron is about to give me a private tour of his establishments, and maybe we'll throw some axes. Stay tuned. All right, the man, the myth, the legend is about to come over here and open these doors up for us. I think. He's slacking. This customer service is terrible already. This is horrible customer service. Look at that man right there. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. It's terrible customer service already. Didn't even get the door answered for me. All right, we are officially here live at Back Alley Axe. This is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Aaron Whitaker, and he's going to give us a little tour of his establishment here. Aaron, show us what you got.
Sure. So, welcome to Back Alley Axe. If you guys are sitting around, we have some couches here. We have NBA Jam that we also bet on. So please come prepared. Bring a little bit of change.
All right.
If you want to play that.
Like that here.
We also have our wall here where we just appreciate all of our customers for coming out. So we love to have you sign the wall if you like.
We will be signing before we leave here.
Please do. Front desk over here. We sell drinks. We offer different types of things like trophies, where it gets very competitive with the trophies. We have piñatas that are filled with candy, so you can actually bust those on the target. We also sell t-shirts, and also we sell axes as well. So nice. If you want to actually get your own personal axe, come on out, and we sell them here. We also have zombies that actually explode and have paint that come out.
Oh, that's awesome.
So please come on out if you want to just have some release some frustration on some zombie targets. Let me know. A few other games that we have as well. My assistant Taylor, or one of my coaches, will be discussing a little more.
Okay.
But we do have beer pong, and then we also have a little card game that we also play as well that she'll get into as more, or a little later. Also, just to show the two owners of Back Alley Acts. It's Aaron, aka the Nature Boy, Wit Flair. Woo!
Woo!
And then you have Josh Keeney, aka Big Daddy Cowboy.
All right.
All right. That's our logo, Back Alley Acts. And when you come to Back Alley Acts, what you can expect is just a load of fun. And just if you're actually with any companies, some team building events as well. So just come out, enjoy, and have fun with the team and the staff. As you can see, we have 5 lanes. Each lane can actually hold 8 people. So please, if you want to book parties, please do. We would love to have you here. We have another side over here. You have to just come across Slay like David. And over here we actually have 3 other lanes as well. And again, each lane holds 8 people. So please come on out, book, and the lanes book up fast. And come out and have some fun.
Well, Aaron, I think it's time we throw some axes. What do you think?
Yeah.
Let's test these bad boys out.
All right.
So you are a coach, correct?
Yes, I am.
So what can people expect from you when they come to throw?
So if anyone has questions about like how to correct their stance or how to throw if they're throwing too hard, I will show you how to actually throw the axe, and I'll also show you how like what maybe you need to correct or how to get the axe sticking on the board. I will also teach you like the games and how to play them, and then once you guys got that down, I will be scoring your guys' points and making sure whoever wins wins.
Nice, very nice. So I don't need any pointers because I'm a pro. I think Aaron probably does. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're gonna throw some axes, so you'll get to see some fun pictures, some videos, and who knows, maybe I'll buy some merchandise. Stay tuned.
Taylor, I'm one of the coaches at Back Alley Axe. What we'll do when you first come in, we'll get you started on the rules of axe throwing, and then I'll show you how to throw the axes. Once you guys get that down, then we'll start with some games. And we have several games. We have King and Queen of the Castle, which the objective is to aim for bullseye. And if you get bullseye, it's 2 points. If you get anywhere closer to bullseye, it's 1 point. So you want to try and get to 10 before your other teammate. Then we have beer pong, which is essentially just like beer pong. We'll put paper cups up on the board, and if you slice them in any sort of way, you get that point and the other team will have to drink. And we also have a little fun advantage with that. If none of you guys make any cups within 3 turns, everyone has to drink. And then we also have cornhole, so it's just like cornhole. Whoever gets to 21 wins. We do cancel out points, so say someone gets bullseye, which is 6 points, and someone gets 4, then that person gets 2 points. We don't go under after 21, we go exactly to 21 and higher, then you win. We also have, we have 5 and a kill shot, which is a lot of people's favorite. So you're gonna do 5 normal throws, but you wanna aim for the bullseye because that will get you 6 points and the points will tally up. Then for the 6th throw, you're gonna aim for those blue dots up there, which are kill shots, and those are worth 8 points. Then we also have, so we have a deck of cards, and we'll put in each corner, and the person that gets all 4 cards down wins. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of games. We have cricket and around the world. The object of that game is to get each number twice and a bullseye. With cricket, you don't have to go in any order. You just have to get all the numbers twice and a bullseye. With around the world, you have to get each number in order. So you have to go from 0 all the way to bullseye and then 4 back to 0.
So it sounds like it's more than just throwing axes at a board.
Most definitely. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of fun games for you guys.
All right. Aaron got a bullseye. I think he's cool now. You know what I mean? All right.
Easy day work.
Let me get another one of these throws here. All right. All right. All right. I shouldn't have doubted you, Aaron.
Nice.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I enjoyed my time throwing axes here, getting to meet Aaron's coach, and then Aaron here as well. Taylor and Aaron, thank you guys for having me. Before I leave, quickly, two things. Where can people find you guys to book, and then where are you guys located?
Sure.
Okay, so you can find us either at backallyaxyork.com, or if you go onto our Facebook page, you can book there as well. And we are located at 2811 East Prospect Road in York, PA.
Awesome. Well, you guys should definitely come book your lanes out here. You get to meet these lovely people and hopefully take home a trophy. Thank you guys for having me.
That's cool. Thanks for coming.
All right. So, Aaron, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well. This, Real Heroes things keep me pretty busy. Still doing the financial health and just overall self-improvement on the podcast. So between these two things and, of course, as you know, work, it's just life is crazy, man. Life is crazy. I shouldn't be the one talking because you're the one who is business and working all at the same time and doing all these different things. So I don't even know where to begin, man. Let's rewind a little bit. So before we get into what you're doing right now, Back Alley Acts and all that, you were on the podcast talking about entrepreneurship and financial wealth. So, what has the response been like since our the one episode that we did? And, what have you been up to since then?
Well, since the episode has been a positive response, like you said earlier, somebody actually offered me a book deal. So he wanted to go half on that, whatever. So, I mean, that could be something in the works. But I would say besides that, really, I just been working on this new company called Back Alley Acts. I partnered up with a partner of mine named Josh. And one day I would say like a year ago, we actually were thinking about this. We were kind of like pondering over it. We were, brainstorming, coming up with a business plan. And then I would say, I know it's kind of crazy to say, but like now is the best time to do it. So we just decided to just jump on in and just try it out and just try our luck and see what happens.
That's insane, Aaron. What, and in the nicest way possible, because you're my homie. Who starts a business during a pandemic? Like what? And I know you and Josh are a little crazy, but what about right now makes it such a perfect time?
Yeah. The reason why I would say it's a perfect time is just like the housing market. So when I started buying houses, that was when everybody was running away from the house and was saying, "You're crazy. The housing market is, no one wants it. Stay far away from it." So it's the same thing. Right now, no one wants to open up a business. No one wants to do anything. Everyone's scared because it's a pandemic. But, I take this as an opportunity just to take advantage and capitalize on what people are running away from and scared of. And, I look at it as this. Eventually, it's going to turn around, right? Everyone's not going to be staying in their house forever.
It's true.
So the way I look at it is if I was able to calculate this and am able to weather the storm, I say, as soon as, everything opens back up, people are going to be crying out, trying to figure out things to do, activities. Because if you think about it, everybody's been cooped up for a year. So I just figured now's the best time. And also, there is no like axe throwing businesses in my location or where I'm at now. So there's no competition. So it was just kind of like a no brainer at the time.
I like that. So basically you're of the mindset that if right now is the time to capitalize it because there really isn't much competition in terms of opening businesses. And if you have the right business model set up and can kind of survive the pandemic that we're in right now, when things open up, it's only going to get that much better for you.
Right.
That is brave. That is brave. But if there's anybody who can do it 100%, I definitely know it's you guys for sure.
Well, they always say it takes about 5 years to actually make a profit, typically with a company or a business. So really just having that mindset of, hey, I might have to weather this out for another year, or I might have to weather this out for 2 months, or who knows, 6 months. No one knows, right? But really just making sure that you're just prepared just mentally just to be able to weather that out. And also just capitalize on the people who are still going in. So if you think about it, like people are still going to gyms, people are still going out to eat and stuff like that. So as long as you're just making sure that you're safe, and as long as you're able to do the math where you can at least break even until everything opens back up, I would say it's a no-brainer. And one thing that I look at with business is I don't look at it's of course business is a risk, but I always look at it as an education. So I always like trying new things and I always
Mhm.
like challenging myself. So if you think about it, what better way to challenge yourself and also get that education than just diving into some type of business or entrepreneurship
That's true.
where you can learn. Because I tell everybody, like, you can study, you can read all the books, you can listen to all the gurus all you want to, but you're never going to feel comfortable or understand the business until you actually jump out there and do it yourself. So, if it costs me 50,000, you think about it, how much does it cost for education to go to college?
Yeah.
$100,000. So I don't look at it as like, if this doesn't work out, I don't look at it as a loss. I look at this as like an opportunity to learn and understand about commercial real estate, business, and other aspects of entrepreneurship that I didn't understand earlier. So
Yeah.
I look at this as opportunity for me to get an education. So
It's crazy, and
whether
not to cut you off, but it's funny because you can tell just by listening to you how much you believe in what you're saying, because you're talking about the amount that it might cost you. You're talking about possibly not making a profit for an extended amount of time, but you look calm as hell. Like none of this even bothers you right now. Like how are you remaining just so calm, and just your whole demeanor is just that, I don't know. You just seem razor focused on this.
Well, when you have a business, you got to understand it's a risk.
Mm.
So when you first take that risk, you got to really understand and do your numbers and figure out, okay, what's worst case scenario.
Mm.
So when I open up a business or start anything, I automatically think what's worst case scenario. Where a lot of people go wrong is they think of, okay, best case scenario, this is going to happen. I'm gonna make
Yep.
a lot of money. No, that's not how you want to come across. You want to, and I don't want to sound negative or anything, but you always want to think about what's the worst thing that can happen. Okay, so with my business that I have right now, the worst thing that can happen is nobody can come in here, right?
Hmm.
So then that means I'll have rent to pay, employees and stuff like that. But then you have to think about, okay, what can I do to minimize that risk, or what can I do to minimize those payments or whatever,
Hmm.
right? So then it's just figuring it out from there. So when it comes to business, it's always what's the word I'm thinking of? You're always thinking outside the box. So you have to
I
become a
got you.
master of thinking outside the box, and also you have to be a master of being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I like
So
that.
I mean, I might look like I don't care or I don't have a care in the world, but best believe, I am thinking about it and it's in the back of my mind. But also, like I said, it's not a failure, because if it does go wrong, at least I had an education and I learned a lot more from being hands-on than paying some college or some guru the same amount of money and not even like getting my feet wet.
Yeah, and that's so true, because a lot of people that where we work, and you hear a lot of people talking about ideas that they have, or this creators talking about things that they want to do, but nobody really goes in with that mindset that they're prepared to lose. I mean, like you're going into that mindset. Obviously, you want to win, you want to be successful, you want to maximize what you're doing, but going in with the mindset that if this goes south, you are prepared to lose what you did, but you would only necessarily be losing financially. You're getting that education to be able to understand what went wrong, and then go back into it down the line and kind of fix
Right.
those issues, is basically what you're saying. That's
Yeah.
dope, man. I mean, so going backwards now, so you talked about something that, Back Alley Acts was an idea that you and Josh had, and opening up this specific location. When it comes to, I mean, I guess, what advice would you give, or what steps did you take to, I guess, kind of bring this brainstorming session that you guys had into reality? So what was all involved in making this whole thing possible?
Yeah. The biggest thing is you got to take action. And that's where a lot of people fall short, is taking action. Like, you can brainstorm, we can have all the meetings in the basement of our houses, we can talk on the phone all we want, but if you're not taking proactive steps and taking action and creating your dream or your business or your company, then nothing's going to happen. So very first thing we did was we started an LLC.
Hmm.
Soon as we started our LLC and we had our paperwork in line, then the very next thing we started doing was looking for commercial properties. Well, at first we negotiated and we talked about, hey, this is what you're bringing to the table, this is what I'm bringing to the table. Because for the most part, you want to be on the same page. If you're talking about a partnership, it's pretty
Hmm.
much a marriage. So you guys are in it for the long haul. So it can't be any miscommunication when that happens. So you
So
got to make sure.
talk about that a little bit, because I have, and again, without mentioning any names, someone who I'm working with right now who got into business with a friend of his. And I know typically when they say when you're starting business, business and family or friends don't always mix, just because of financials that can come into play and different things like that, and the relationships can kind of go sour. So how did you guys establish that relationship and feel comfortable knowing that if something were to happen, you guys would still be okay? Like choosing the right person to go into business with.
Yeah, so really choosing the right person is just really, it's like I said, it's just like a marriage. You got to feel the
Mhm.
person out. It might take a couple dates, it might take a couple meetings to figure out if you like them or not, or if you guys, can really mesh. And really with Josh, the thing about it is we didn't really, everything we did, it was no miscommunication. We were kind of like always on the same page. Um, and more or less, it was kind of like he knew his role and I kind of knew my role in the business. And the thing is, you both can't be strong at the same thing because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So whatever his strength is my weakness, and his weakness is my strength. And that's the only way you're going to build and be able to grow with a business. If both of you guys have the same strengths,
Mhm.
then more than likely you guys are going to butt heads and it's not going to work out. So pretty much with this business, I know my lane and he knows his.
So
When it
wanting
comes
to
to
be
it,
able to complement each other in the right way.
exactly. Yep.
I
Yep.
like
So,
that.
I'll give you a prime example. It was kind of funny when we were about to open up. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna open up every day. We're gonna be open Monday through Sunday. And he's looking at me like, nah, no, we're not doing it. And he kind of explained why. And the thing is, you have to trust your partner as well. Like
Mhm.
he already has two other axe throwing businesses. So, just me knowing that he already been through the bumps, the bruises, he already went through the roadblocks,
Mhm.
already knew it was going to be a lot easier for me to just come in here because he already knew what to do and what not to do. So pretty much it was kind of a no-brainer.
That made you feel better and trusting him, because he had that. So he had that experience with this business specifically going in, and then it seems like he was able to trust you because though you have different businesses set up, it's pretty easy to see that you know how to operate businesses and be successful with them. So
Right.
again, just complimenting each other. That's dope. So once you guys realized that you wanted to go into business together, you guys got your LLC, figured out who was bringing what to the table. What did you guys do next?
Yeah. So after that, we put some cash together.
Mhm.
We opened up an account. So whatever we decided on, we put that much into an account, and then we just started looking for a commercial property. Really, that's what took the longest, I would say. Looking for a commercial property that was like the right location,
Mhm.
the right price for us to be able to do business. Took a while. That took about 5 to 6 months actually, before we found the right location. And then negotiation took another, I want to say, 2 months. And then part of that, sometimes we had to actually get lawyers involved as well. So, one thing that I learned about commercial and when it comes to like commercial properties and retail, when it comes to like houses, commercial, sometimes they have a lot of gray areas that they can play around with, I would say. And sometimes it's not in your favor. And a lot of times with commercial, you have to have every little thing written down on paper.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I tell people you can't take someone's word for it. I was used to like working at like houses and contractors, and you say,
Mhm.
hey, fix that, you know, and you don't have to have something signed on a dotted line.
You'll
They'll
just
just,
get trust it'll get done.
where's bond? Yeah, you'll trust it because he gave me a word.
Mhm.
What I realized with commercial, that's not always the case. So you want to make sure that you document everything that you are talking to, whether it's with a private landlord or if you're working with a property management company, because we had a few hiccups. I was saying we had to get some lawyers involved before we actually were able to open up.
Mhm. So if somebody, I mean, what advice would you give to somebody who was looking at, opening up a business and was looking at a commercial property in terms of, is location the most important thing? Is pricing the most important thing? Like what all factors come into play when you're trying to choose a location?
Sure. I would say one of the biggest things is location. Location is key. because you can do all the marketing, you can do all the advertisement you want, but if you don't have a good location and if it's not in the best place where people feel comfortable with going to, you're not going to get business. And also, like I said, location is key because traffic and word of mouth is going to be your primary source of business. So you want to be able to be somewhere where it's a lot of either foot traffic or a lot of traffic where people are driving vehicles.
Like
So
more populated areas.
Yes.
I gotcha. All right. So you
And
guys,
also,
what was that?
one thing I will say is you want to try to look for anchor buildings as well. So anchor stores, a Walmart is an anchor store.
I gotcha.
I used to say movie theaters, but not anymore.
Yeah, not,
But
not right now.
so you want to look for anchor stores that those stores aren't going anywhere and they have a lot of foot traffic. Those are the type of stores you want to kind of be around because they'll help your business out as well.
Gotcha. It's good. See, I'm taking mental notes right here. I'm up to something. Don't you worry. So you guys got your commercial property down. Lawyers involved. Everybody signs on the dotted line. You're good. So when you go in, do you already kind of have a mindset for how you want it to look? Did you, was Josh, big on that? Because I know he already kind of has his separate axe throwing businesses in. Like what did it look like going into it, and what all did you have to do to kind of get things ready?
I'll send you some pictures so you can actually post those as well.
There we go.
Because with commercial buildings, you have to fix everything yourself. So when you buy a rental spot or a commercial building, it's as is. So how you look at that building when you first take a tour of it, that's what it's going to look like when you buy it. So you got to be prepared, and also you got to take mental notes of what's going on in there, because you're going to have to fix it yourself. Also, depending on what type of property you have. So like, for instance, where we had, it was mainly like office space.
Yeah.
And we actually turned it into retail. So that means it's a different inspection. So you got to make sure that you have everything up to code for whatever type of business you're opening up. So like, for example, they had office spaces. So the bathrooms, they didn't have to be handicap accessible because it was just office people in here. They weren't taking retail customers. Because we had retail customers coming in here, our bathrooms had to be handicap accessible. So luckily, Josh was able to catch on to that, and we were able to negotiate that before we moved in. So they had to actually redo 2 bathrooms in our establishment and make them handicap accessible.
So those are things that people probably wouldn't think of going into it. It would have been another cost associated with doing business that you really wouldn't think of.
Yeah, that would have been almost like $20,000. So, just imagine, you're trying to open up a business that's wasn't the original, I guess, what it was leased for. And then you have something like that happens, and you got to do that. You got to
that's insane. Now, are you guys looking for, when you were looking at commercial buildings, were you looking for something similar to what you bought, like not necessarily office space, but something that you could transition easier on the inside, almost like an office building, or something that you wouldn't have to completely flip over on the inside?
Yeah, we were mainly looking for like a shell.
Gotcha.
Because if you think about it, when people come to throw axes, they're not coming in here to like look at like the carpet and make sure it's perfectly clean or matching, So as long as the place is decent and presentable, that's really what we're focusing on. And as long as it had a lot of like foot traffic and a lot of like traffic with cars, that's what we were focusing on as well. Gotcha. And we did the rest ourselves.
So now when it came to setting up the lanes and getting the whole inside done, did you guys hire people to do that? Did you guys do everything yourselves, or was it a little bit of both?
It was a little bit of both. So we wanted to hurry up and get it done right away. So we actually hired the same guy who actually did his other 2 buildings. So we hired him. He came in and literally he just knocked out the lanes in like 2 days. And then Josh and I came in and did the rest. It's kind of funny because this is what I refer back to as like, making sure you have lawyers and look at your contracts. So we have neighbors that are directly across from us. But the problem was, before we moved in, they knew what type of business we had. They knew that we were throwing axes. Josh and I made them, the companies aware that it was going to be loud. Well, we were pretty much up and ready to go. Started throwing axes, and we pretty much made our neighbors aware, like, hey, we're going to be loud, because their type of business is more or less like a coffee shop where you kind of like relax.
The complete opposite of an axe throwing business.
Complete opposite. They don't want a lot of noise. Yeah. So when they came in, we were like, hey guys, we just want to give you a heads up. It's going to be noisy.
Mm-hmm.
So we showed them how loud it was going to be. And then next thing you know, the property management company, the people, they came over the next day and they had a problem with how loud our axes were. So it's like, hold on, we told you guys how loud it was going to be. So make a long story short, they actually made us have to soundproof the whole room that's like connected to their side. So that was an extra expense that we actually had to do ourselves. So we had to tear everything back down, and then we had to soundproof the wall and then put everything back up. Yeah.
How long did that back you guys up?
A week.
Another week. Damn.
Yep.
And again, it's kind of one of those things where, just for anyone out there who's thinking of starting a business, again, it's more than just going in, redoing something, and then starting your business. You talk about ADA bathrooms and soundproofing things. And even when you are ready to open up, there's still all these kind of unexpected costs that could potentially show up. Like I keep telling people that there's so much more that goes into it than what you can just see right away.
Yeah, it's so much more than what you can just see with the surface. You also got to think about insurance. So we had to pay for insurance, and the type of insurance with this type of business, they want the full year up front.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just your car insurance you can pay every month.
Yeah.
Something else, your health insurance you pay every month. No, this you had to pay upfront, the full amount upfront.
Damn.
So that was thousands of dollars that we had to pay. Then we had to pay hazardous insurance. So that's a different insurance that we had to pay on top of our insurance.
Now,
So
these are all upfront costs without you making any, business that isn't even open. You're putting all this money into the business and you're not making any money yet. So how does it? I know you have experience with businesses, and I know Josh does as well. But again, kind of going back to us being in that pandemic, you are literally pumping thousands of dollars into this business because you firmly believe that once things pick up, that you guys are gonna just hit the ground running. Like, what's it like to kind of, I'm sure you have people all around you telling you guys you're crazy, that this is never going to work, or that, this is probably not the best time to do it, but you guys are doing it. I mean, it's it's insane. I don't have the words to properly describe. Like, I'm just sitting here, these dudes are nuts. But at the same time, it's like, if there's any two people who can do it, it's definitely you guys. So, all right, so you guys are got everything done, inside's ready. How'd you guys go about, marketing, picking an opening date, and just kind of getting the word out there that you guys were up and running?
So how we picked the opening date is kind of funny. It was based on our inspection. So a lot of times, people don't realize how meticulous the inspectors are when they come into your commercial building, especially when it's a retail spot, because you have to get an occupancy inspection. And the main thing that they're looking for, they're making sure that your building is safe, of course. So, they look at the exit signs. They actually go up to the exit signs with a tape measurer, and they make sure that it's the actual, it has to be a specific length. They make sure that it's that specific length.
Damn.
We had to have fire extinguishers in here. They went up to every fire extinguisher that we had, and they measured it to make sure that it was properly hung where it was supposed to. They checked all of our exit signs. So to be honest with you, we did have an opening date, but then we were like, hold on, let's wait till we get an inspection first, and then we'll revisit that opening date as well. So we actually canceled and backed out of our opening date. The inspector came. Luckily, ours was good, because if you fail, they come back the next week. They don't come back the next day. You got to wait an entire week.
So you get pushed back even further.
Yeah. So luckily, we passed our inspection. So we did kind of like a soft opening, basically like friends and family. So that's what we did last weekend, just to kind of get the word out there, show people, have some video of people throwing axes and having fun. And we just basically went from there. I would say 2 weeks ago, we started advertising was on Facebook. We actually got like almost like 10,000 followers,
Damn.
and yeah, and it's only been 2 weeks. I actually had a call today about like uh, companies already booking private parties, and people are already booking online as well. So it's actually it's picking up business a lot faster than what I actually anticipated or what I
Yeah.
thought. But again, what I told you in the beginning, I always planned for the worst. So I was planning on like no one being here, maybe one person a day or something.
Mhm.
So any or little business is better than no business. So, I was planning for the worst. So I'm happy with what we're having right now and the outcome that we're going.
Now, opening a business at any point, is nerve wracking. There's, you talked about costs and insurance and inspectors and the works. At any point, something can go wrong or there's costs associated that you really weren't expecting. Now, opening a business during COVID and during a pandemic adds a little bit of a twist. I know you have some experience with businesses before, but you've never done a business during COVID, with everything going on right now. So what was that like? Did it present any obstacles you really weren't expecting or kind of change things?
Um, I would say with like really opening up, we
Mhm.
probably could have had this open like a month ago. If it wasn't COVID, COVID kind of slowed up a lot of the processes and like the paperwork and stuff like that. But like when it comes to like the vision and everything else, we pretty much had it down. So once we were able to get in here, it was pretty much like clockwork. We had everything ready to go. We had everything all like already planned and mapped out.
Mhm.
So um, it was pretty easy.
Now, do you have any, when the inspectors were coming to look at the building or, and anything like that? Now, was there anything different that they had to do because of COVID in terms of, having signs for people wearing masks or like different things like that, like total occupancy you're allowed to have? Because I'm sure there's probably more restrictions now than there would have been before the pandemic hit.
No, so they didn't have anything like that. But what we did just to make sure for people so they could be safe, we have masks, and it's just like bowling. I don't know if you've been to bowling lately, but like with bowling, as soon as you get into your lane, you can, if you want to, you can take off your mask because you're
Mhm.
6 feet, you're safe distance away from everyone else, and also you're in your little own group of people that you came with
Gotcha.
that you usually feel comfortable with. Another thing we do is we actually we have spray that we actually wipe and sanitize all the axes. So as soon as a group leaves, we wipe down the axes and everything else and sanitize them. So the next group, when they come in, they have nice and clean axes and safe axes to
That's
throw.
awesome.
So
It sounds like you
um,
guys are taking all the precautions they need to be taking to get everything opened on time.
yeah, and we have hand sanitizer stations all around, and things of that nature. So we have things in place to make people feel safe.
That's awesome, man. So when is the official opening date?
So officially we'll be open this Friday.
This
Starting
coming Friday. So
this
2 days
coming
from today. So today
yes,
is, was it the 13th? Friday the 13th, you guys are opening.
Friday the 13th. Yes, yes.
Well,
Throw it at me.
there we go. So, all right. So just quick run through of everything that we talked about, opening up your business, the dream or the vision that you guys had, your brainstorming session, and step by step by step, how you guys turned that basically into reality. You know what I mean? Which is, again, I can't give you guys praise enough for everything that you guys are doing right now. So Back Alley Axe is the name of the business. You guys
Yes.
are, well, I guess I'll let you do your plug-in. Tell me all about your business, where you're located, your hours, whatever plug-in you want to put in right now. The floor is all yours.
Sure. So Back Alley Axe is a business. Please, you can actually book online at www.backallyaxe backallayaxeyork.com. So please book your lanes online there. You can also call us as well. Our phone number is 223-848-3156. We are also located right by Heritage Hills, the golf course. And our address is 2811 East Prospect Road, York, PA 17402. So please come on out, have fun. If you want to have fun, whether with your kids, you want to have some type of, entertainment for your company, whatever you want to do, please come on out, have some fun, enjoy some throwing axes with Josh and myself and my staff. You'll also have a trained staff member with you at all times that will not only teach you and train you how to throw axes, but we'll also play some nice and fun games with you as well. And also, it's BYOB, so please bring drinks if you like and enjoy yourself and throw some axes.
That sounds awesome, man. I am 1,000% going to be there. I've been to a few axe throwing places. I know last year we as a team, as a corporate team, we went out to Josh's and we had a really good time there. For those of you who don't know Aaron and Josh, I might be a little bit biased because I've worked with them both before and they're really good guys. I know firsthand you are going to have an amazing time. These guys are hilarious. They are kind of opposite, but they're extremely similar at the same time. But if you're looking to have a good time, if you're looking to laugh, if you're looking to just kind of see an interesting dynamic between the two of them, please support Back Alley Axe. Visit yourself. If it's not something you might be interested in, just please like, share, comment, subscribe, whatever you got to do. There are so many people who are out there right now who are stuck at home wanting to do something, but not really sure what there's to do. Go throw axes. Axes. Get that aggression out. Have a good time. Support local small businesses. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of bravery, and that's the reason I want to have Aaron on here. And kudos to Josh as well. Heroes opening up a small business during the midst of a pandemic, doing it with just passion, creativity, and then just having so much confidence within themselves. So Aaron, anything else you wanted to kind of plug in for yourself, for Josh, for the business?
No, I'll just say if you want to try something new, something fun. I know I didn't think when Josh came to me with this about axe throwing a couple years ago, I was like, what is that? Get out of here with that. No, I'm not throwing axes. And when I tried it for the first time, I realized how much fun it is. So what I'll say is, I can compare it to bowling, throwing darts. So if you just enjoy bowling, throwing darts, and having fun, team building with your teams at work, this would be the perfect place for you. And again, just try something new and open up your mind to something different.
One thing I will say for anybody who's afraid or thinks that it is dangerous, it's actually a lot safer than you would think. And Josh and Aaron do a really good job of making sure that everyone is trained and everyone feels comfortable. There are so many safety precautions that are put in place to make sure that nobody gets hurt. So
Yes.
I know that's typically like the number one thing people think of when you hear about somebody throwing axes, but yes, rest assured, these guys have a lot of safety precautions put in place. It's a lot of fun. Aaron, I want to thank you for hopping on with me and taking the time. I know it's damn near midnight right now, but and this man is still at work. Not only does he work a 9 to 5 at the same place that I do, but immediately afterwards, he's heading over to this place. So please, if nothing else, support small business, support some really good buddies of mine. I wish you guys nothing but success. Thank you for hopping on, Aaron. I will see you on Saturday, sir.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good day, man.
Sir.